really nervous. Okay. Breathe. Hey everybody! Today I wanted to make a video to share a little part of my life with you guys. And so for anybody who might be going through similar thoughts or feelings or experiences, that you might have somebody to relate to with me and my story. I know that it helped me a lot to hear other people's stories when I was going through this myself, so I thought I might try to pass that on and share what I went through. So as you can tell from the title, this is about my eating disorder. Everything started when I was little. I remember having thoughts. I was already starting to compare myself to my friends and to people that I saw on the media, and that grew over my middle school years. 8th grade was when it really started to get stronger. It all started with the innocent thought of just wanting to get healthier, wanting to lead a healthier lifestyle. And at the time, I thought that that meant that I should read more about health and that I should start tracking my calories. So for anybody who's ever used a calorie tracking site before, you'll probably know that they're very good at drawing you in and making it seem like it's just a fun and appealing thing to do. But they give you a set limit of calories that you are supposed to eat to or under, and if you eat under them, then it's good, and if you eat over them, then it's bad. And so already from the start, you're learning that eating over a specific amount of calories is bad. And I thought it was correct, and I thought I had to follow that. So at that point, I was already starting to restrict, and you get encouraged to do this. But the thing is, you can very quickly start becoming obsessed with doing these things, obsessed with tracking the numbers, everything, every little morsel you're expected to put into this site. So I quickly became obsessed with tracking everything. And I became obsessed with restricting. So in 8th grade I started losing some weight. Eventually some of my friends noticed, and I thought it was great. I thought, yes, let's keep doing what I'm doing and I'll feel better. So 9th grade came along, and 9th grade was quite a tough year for a number of reasons. It was very stressful, there were a lot of conflicts, and I didn't know how to deal with all these feelings that were coming up. There were so many strong emotions that I was just having trouble knowing what to do with them. My subconscious mind decided that I would just focus all of my energy into one thing, and that was to start criticizing myself and my body. It was a subconscious thing that came up as a symptom of all these other things that I was going through. Every morning I would wake up and I'd look at myself in the mirror and I'd just see so many things to criticize and to pick on. To deal with this, I became even more obsessed with food. I would constantly read articles about diet and exercise, and I was just becoming so obsessed with every little thing. I started restricting my calories even more. At the time, I really didn't realize what I was doing at all. I was just answering this voice in my head that was telling me I needed to do all these things, and that doing all these things would somehow make me feel better. I thought that maybe, just maybe, I would feel happier if I had the perfect body or the perfect life. I did all these things to try to get there, but then when I would get there, I still wouldn't be happy. And so I thought that I just had to keep going on this cycle of losing more and more weight to feel happy and to feel like I was worth something. I was getting on the scale almost every single day, constantly tracking my weight. If I got on it one day and the number wasn't less than the day before, I just felt horrible. So I found some pictures of myself from 9th grade that I'm going to show you now. This isn't at my lowest weight. Unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, my phone lost all content that was from that time period. But I still have pictures from family holidays and special occasions and stuff. I might have been smiling in those pictures, but I was not smiling on the inside. I was unhappy with myself, and I was punishing myself because of that. The summer came, and my mom had been extremely worried about me through this all. One day in the middle of the summer, she made me get on the scale in front of her. I had been trying to hide my weight and my weight loss for so long. She just forced me to show her right there and then. To be honest, that was pretty traumatic, and I think it was pretty traumatic for her as well. But even at this point, I still didn't realize that I was suffering from an eating disorder. I just thought I was doing what I was doing, and I was doing the right thing, and that was just completely the opposite. So after my mom saw the number on the scale, I realized that I couldn't keep hiding it anymore. And so I agreed to start putting on weight again. It was really hard to see my mom so upset. And when you're going through an eating disorder where you're just thinking about yourself, it's hard to realize that what you're doing is affecting the people who love you. And if any of you are going through this, your family or friends keep mentioning things to you, saying that they're worried about you, try not to get annoyed or frustrated or angry at them, and just try to listen to them because they love you, and the reason that they're trying to say these things to you is because they love you and they're worried about you. Okay, so later that day I went upstairs to my room and I just sat on the floor and looked up the symptoms of anorexia and realized that I had basically every symptom. I had lost my menstrual cycle for 7 months. I was losing hair by the handful. I was hiding my eating patterns to my friends and to my family. I was extremely unhappy with myself. At the time, I didn't label it though as any specific eating disorder. It was hard enough to just be okay and accept the fact that I had one in the first place. After that summer, 10th grade was also very hard. These things stay with you for a while, and you have to break yourself down to work through every piece one by one to actually start healing. I had already been seeing a counselor at school for some other things, but when I came back to school I told her what I had realized, and she had known, but she was waiting for me to figure it out myself. I worked throughout 10th grade on my thoughts, but because I had been trying so hard for so long to hold on to this control of my eating and my weight, it was really hard and kind of scary to have to let that go. And it was really good that I had to let that go. So in 10th grade, I kind of went the opposite way, and instead of restricting, I started binging. 10th grade was the year that I struggled a few months of depression, which brought a whole new load of emotions that I didn't know how to deal with. And I think a lot of people think that depression is just about being sad all the time, but that's really not the case. A lot of the time it's about not really feeling anything at all. So at the time, my way of dealing with not feeling was to eat. a lot to fill the emptiness that was inside me at the time. So the summer after 10th grade, I still didn't have a healthy relationship with food or with myself, and I was starting to think more and more about food and my weight again. So that could have taken a turn for the worse again, but through this I actually found some videos of vegans who ate high-carb plant foods in abundance. They ate unlimited calories, and they were the most vibrant and energy-filled people I had ever seen, online or in real life. I finally was starting to realize that I could actually eat until I was satisfied, like I'm supposed to do. You have an appetite and you have hunger for a reason, and that is your body's way of telling you that you need energy to live, to thrive. Not listening to that simple thing that your body is trying to tell you, it doesn't mean that you have willpower or that you're somewhat more special than another person who can't do that. It means that you're not listening to your body. That's all that it means. And you're doing something that your body and your mind doesn't want for you. And it took me a long time to realize that. My weight loss and my eating disorder and my thoughts just criticizing myself were all a cry for help through this journey of life that I had no idea how to deal with. And I just want to say that it doesn't matter what size you are or who you are or where you're coming from, anybody can be suffering from an eating disorder, and anybody can have an unhealthy relationship with food and with themselves. We see all these pictures in the media and we see all these people in real life, and we look at them and we think, why can't I be them? Why can't I have their body? Why are they perfect and why am I not perfect? But we don't actually look behind the surface and ask ourselves what might not be perfect in their lives. We only see what's on the outside. We don't see if they're doing exactly the same to themselves that we're doing to ourselves. We don't see them criticizing themselves. We don't see them restricting themselves. We don't see them hating themselves. So why do we put these people up on a stool like they're heroes and want to be them? You can be beautiful the way that you are. What is important is not what is on the outside. And I know that that is so hard to come to terms with because we put such a focus on it in our society now. What is important is your health and your happiness. You can be the most beautiful person in the world on the outside, but still be so unhappy on the inside. So why strive for that? Why not live how you are now and find your own happiness now? So whether this video and this story applies to you, or if you recognize these symptoms in someone else, just acknowledge this. Be mindful, and if you see this in somebody else that you know and love, speak with them. Be honest, but be caring and loving, and tell them that you're worried about them. And if you're someone who thinks you might be going through this yourself, please don't be afraid to seek help. I would not be in the place that I am today if I hadn't gone to see a counselor for 1.5 years. So if you ever hear a voice in your head trying to tell you that you're not worthy, or that you're not good enough, or that you're not perfect, don't listen to it. Fight back. And I know that's so easy to say, but so hard to do. But find the help to allow you to do it. Because you are beautiful, and you deserve your own love and your own happiness, just like every other person on this planet deserves from themselves. I still have echoes of those thoughts that occasionally come back in times of doubt or times of sadness. But now I can acknowledge those thoughts and realize that all they're trying to do is hurt you. They're not trying to help you, and you don't have to listen to them. Instead of waking up in the morning and looking in the mirror and criticizing everything that you see, wake up in the mirror, look at yourself, and tell yourself that you're freaking awesome and that you're beautiful, and that you have so many good things in your life to live for. It takes a lot of time and a lot of patience to heal, but I promise you it is possible to get yourself out of these thoughts and to finally become happy within yourself. I'm going to leave some links in the description for anybody who's interested in learning more about eating disorders, or for anybody who might need some help going through this. So yeah, check those out if you're interested. Thank you so much to anybody who has spent the time to listen to my story. I really appreciate it. I hope it's somehow been helpful or thought-provoking. So yeah, you're all awesome. Much love to each and every one of you, and I hope you're having a beautiful day.